Hi, I'm Brian Painter, columnist with the Oklahoman, and I'm joined today by Kari Newport. Like many, Kari has a family member diagnosed with cancer, specifically lung cancer. She would like to see the numbers of those who suffered through this lowered or wiped out. So we'll talk today about how she is approaching this. Kari, your mother, on her 60th birthday, found out she had lung cancer. How did she tell you? Did she give you a call, or?
Actually, what had happened was we had plans that night to go to dinner since it was her birthday, and she had been just feeling bad, having a cough, and I said, go out to the doctor, get checked out before we go to dinner, because all the family was coming in, and she went out there and they did an x-ray, and then she called and said, well, they're sending me for a scan right away. And so right then I knew that something was wrong, and so they got her in and did an MRI, and then when I hadn't heard from her for a couple of hours, the feeling got worse. And then finally that night, my aunt, who's a PA that she saw, called and said, you need to come, because they live in El Reno, and by that time you just know that, you're not going to hear good news.
So she gave you a call?
They said that they couldn't tell for sure, but that the initial thought was that she did have cancer. At that point, we didn't know what all it entailed. We just knew that there was something there, and that she ended up having a 12-centimeter mass in the left side of her chest.
Did this bring you to your knees?
It did. It was just overwhelming. My mom and I have always been close, and she watched my daughters for me, and it was just a kind of a life-changing event because everything changed.
At what point do you come up off your knees, and why do you come up off?
I think that after the initial shock wore off about her diagnosis and what we were facing, you just kind of get angry and realize that there's not much out there for people, especially with lung cancer. There's not a lot of support, and there's not a lot of fundraising or awareness. And then a coworker of mine gave me the application for the Lung Cancer Partnership Summit, and that kind of got me started on thinking that things needed to change and that we needed to be more aware of what there was involved with it.
That was held in April in Dallas?
In April in Dallas. I was there for 3 days. It was fully sponsored by them. They just wanted to teach people, everyday people, to become advocates for the disease. They're based out of Wisconsin, and they do research and provide grants, and their goal is just to educate people.
Were these, like yourself, family members and friends, or were they victims, or both?
Both. There was people there that had cancer, there were people there that had been in remission for a few years, and then there was family members that had lost somebody, and then there was just people that wanted to be involved.
What did you leave Dallas with?
That one person can make a difference, that you can start a movement and you can help educate, and that's the most important thing, is education.
Out of that, you've kind of come to walk, and explain that to me, what you've organized.
Well, when I started researching what there was in Oklahoma, because we have Relay for Life, which is great for cancer, but I wanted something specifically for lung cancer, and I couldn't find anything. And the Lung Cancer Partnership has an event called Free to Breathe, but it's not available in Oklahoma. So I just decided to start a walk with my sister and some coworkers and friends, and we called it Breathe OK. And it's just going to be, the money raised will specifically go to lung cancer research.
When is this walk?
It's September 12th at 9 a.m. in Yukon at Skyview Elementary.
And how far do you walk, and how does it work? Do you have sponsors?
Well, we've started just kind of from the ground up. We've just kind of gotten donations and going for that, for this year to start off small. People pay $15, and that includes their T-shirt, and then we're just going to walk. We didn't really set a limit to it because as people with lung problems, they don't have that great of endurance sometimes. So I didn't set a, 1 mile, 5 mile. I just thought if we got out there and walked together and had a good time, that would, kind of raise the awareness and bring people together.
When you told me about this, it caught my attention. What did it do when you told your mom you were going to do this?
She was really happy. She, of course, said you didn't have to do this, and I told her I knew, but that this is something I wanted to do because, when she was diagnosed, they told us that they can't cure her, that this was just, how long she lasted, and that was what we had to deal with. But my daughters didn't understand that their grandma wasn't going to be there for them. And I wanted to do something that somebody else may not have to hear that news, because with research, things can change so fast. So,
how's your mom doing now?
She's doing remarkable right now. That she actually was told that she's in, they didn't say remission, but that the tumor has shrank and it hasn't spread. So at this point, we're blessed, and she's just living it day to day.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for joining me today.
You're welcome. Thank you.